Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning into my podcast. And today I have a very special guest with me, lovely Natalie Lane. I met her a few months ago, and we have amazing conversations about, how to actually deal with the team, how to build up the great business. And we talk a lot about values and I guess about things that we both value in life and relationships and what is really important in business for both of us. And that was the major reason why I invited her, because she has that real relationship creation in her blood and real care about clients. And you probably remember I told that a few times that I love to have people here. They really, really care about their clients and they put them on the first place. And yeah, I would love to welcome you in my podcast and really ask you to tell us something about yourself and yeah, how did you come to this point that you have actually amazing business running, and yeah, what was before? Welcome.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you for having me on your podcast. It's a real pleasure. Exactly what you have just said, client relationships are at the forefront of everything I've ever done. I think starting off my life in hospitality really taught me about customer service. And
I can rely on that.
Yeah, those real fundamental stepping stones of actually having to talk to people and be nice to them. It seems so basic, but that's the key fundamental step of looking after your clients. Look after them, be nice to them. It's not hard. I often wonder how people muck up their client relationships when the reality is you just need to communicate with them. So I have sort of brought that through everything I do. And also, I think something that's key for me, and I've said it in another podcast and I say it in my social media, everything I do, I try to have an outcome that I'm going to be happy with and that makes me happy. Not just, oh, I'm happy that got sorted, but happy, joyful, happy. So I like to feel good about what I do. I haven't got to where I am and the age that I am because I'm unhappy and things, it's a struggle every day. That's not having a good business. Having a good business is meeting great people like yourself, going to different events, working with your clients and trying to be the happiest person, because look at what we've gone through in the last couple of years with COVID, uncertainties. We all need to try and be happy somewhere along the line. So that's really what drives me. Good client relationships are two-way. I think for me, always treating people as you want to be treated has, from a little girl, has always, been a fundamental step along with those customer service things. So even if a customer, a client, a supplier has annoyed me, I really try very hard to just still treat them the same way as I want to be treated, because sometimes you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
I love that.
Yeah, and sometimes you can actually make their personal life worse by just thinking, oh, well, they're being difficult, and you just sort of end it. Not saying that I'm a counselor or a mentor or anything, but sometimes just by being kind to them, it changes the situation. So that's how I sort of do business, by being welcoming, being kind, and then I attract the right people anyway. So having clients has never been an issue for our business, Your Hive. We have always, I suppose, it's been word of mouth, referral basis, most of our clients. And that makes me very happy. When we look at the stats every year, I'm sort of always thinking, well, that shows that we must be doing something right. Looking at who has referred us is always an interesting thing, like which people have said, oh, go and see Your Hive. And then I look at those names and I think, oh, yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, that's nice. And I think that's when you think about healthy business, that's how it should be. Like, just to really have those clients that refer you. But also when I'm thinking about beginning, maybe let's go there, because before you really deliver the value to the clients, you can't really have referrals. Like it's really about like when you're starting from beginning, from zero. And I know because you started in different industry, I was actually in hospitality a lot. That means I know exactly what you're talking about. When we had to be, or not even have to be, like you are naturally nice, because you can see the reaction from other side. When you're nice to people, usually they're nice too. That means I always feel like that's the only way to do that, because like coming from acceptance and compassion and empathy and all that, you know, like really think about that. It's not about me, it's about my clients or other people. And if they are angry, maybe it's just their bad day, you know, it's not a reflection of me. That means it's really good to see that actually people understand that relationships are so important. But from that perspective, that you started somewhere, and I know people struggle a lot. Like I have a few clients and my, you know, some of the past clients, when they started their business, they really struggled because there are no referrals, you know, there's everything is new. Like what was that beginning for you? Like what did you do that you feel like change your business, that now you actually are comfortable and you feel great, you know, that your clients coming into your business?
Well, it's a really good question, Alex, because everybody has to start somewhere. And you either start with a purpose in mind, this is my opinion, you start with a purpose in mind, or you sort of fall into it. And I'm of the latter. We sort of fell into what we did. There was definitely a different service offering at the beginning of Your Hive than there is now. So the background will probably explain most of this. I was in a career, became unwell, as did my husband, and we made some life decisions about moving, having less financial obligation to the bank, all those sorts of things. So those personal decisions started to happen as you progress through life with your children. And I was working for a small business owner at the time, and I had a really good job. I really enjoyed it, but it was going to become the point where I couldn't travel that far. Plus I became ill. And it made me look at everything and think, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't actually want to work for anybody anymore. And could I do something for myself? That's where it started. Could I do something for myself? I was very fortunate that I had some really good female role models around me who were a little bit older, if that's possible. And they
come on. What you are, like 18? Yeah.
And it was, I sort of listened. I listened at the right moment. I listened to what and they had their own businesses, and I listened to what they needed. And the gap was helping female entrepreneurs run their business. Now, that didn't necessarily mean doing admin or marketing or, I don't know, all the traditional like bookkeeping or any of those things. It was just to sort of support them and help them grow their business. So that's where I personally started. I wasn't part of Your Hive then. It was just, I helped one client, and I got it right. I worked out what the gaps were, where they needed help, and then I excelled at that bit where they needed the help. So I really, I suppose, honed in on, they could do that. They could get a bookkeeper. So I didn't need to be an expert bookkeeper. You know, why would I go and do that? I didn't need to be a web developer, because you could go and get a website developer. I didn't need to be specifically in admin, but I could see this crossover between admin, marketing, and business growth. It was very clear to me that there was gaps there. There was gaps in the whole process. There were gaps in them building steps so they could then move on to the next level. So that's what I did. I went into those gaps, and I worked out how to solve it for one person. And then I knew what my offering was. And then I suppose through a little bit of courage, I did some networking. I wasn't keen on doing it at the time after having been ill and having a child later in, another child later in life. So I sort of had to be brave and step out there. Once I did that, I started to meet some of the wrong people. I met.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there as well.
Yeah. And so it made me realize, oh my God, why do I want to do this networking stuff? There's all these people out there that aren't the right fit for me. But my advice there is you've just got to keep going until you find the right people. And it doesn't happen overnight. For me, it took a little while. And through that process, I met my business partner, who actually, Katrina, I had a gap in a client that needed some marketing that I just didn't have time for or the expertise for. So she came on and worked with me, and that sort of grew, long story short, that grew into, we decided to go into business together because we were sort of the yin and the yang. She had stuff that I couldn't do. And likewise, there was stuff that she couldn't do. So we came together, which is an odd thing because not a lot of people would recommend going into a partnership. We did that in 2017 and have grown from there. But again, by the time we got to 2017, I did all of this from 2010 to 2017 by myself, 7 years, various clients. Was difficult at times. I'm not going to say it wasn't. People go, oh, it must be so easy. It wasn't. Sometimes I needed more clients, and the networking was the biggest thing I found to work for me.
I will probably pause there because you said so many amazing messages there, like when you were describing your story. And when I asked the question, how did you actually get there? How did you get clients? Because there is no referrals at the beginning because they don't know if we can add the value. But I love when you said, first of all, you actually first analyze what is the gap. I think that's very important. When you offer any services or products, like really understand there is a gap and people need you. People really need your service and can really move the needle in their business or in their life or health, whatever you sell, whatever it is for people. But you said another thing, but it was really important that that is one of the prospecting and sales strategies is actually networking. But what I love when you said that you had to be brave enough, that means you actually came from the point that you were actually stuck before and you had to overcome some doubts and maybe, a little bit of not feeling comfortable in that environment with strangers, and also advertise your business and yourself. And you still didn't have maybe enough trust because you had also a child, and all that things that, oh my gosh, like that's a lot of stuff that was going on in your life. But you did it. And I think that's the important message for people, when they said that they just stay home and they stay on computer and they think that business will come to them. It's just not true. You actually need to overcome that discomfort and do something.
I always think there are a few avenues into your business, and the more businesses that I've worked with, particularly over the last, say, 4 years, I have realized that marketing, marketing yourself, marketing your business is only as good as what you offer, what you actually follow through with, and who you are as a person. You can have
Thank you for saying that. Oh my God, like this is gold, what you just said, because marketing is who you are.
Yeah.
Marketing is you, and it can't be better than you. Marketing will be always, always what kind of person you are, and that will go with you. That's your reputation.
You see, sometimes people, I mean, because I'm in this space, I see a lot of marketing done really, really well, and I also see a lot done really badly. But the ones that you see really bad, there's things to take away from it. You can see people's purpose, but they don't join the dots properly because they think, I've got to sell, or it's all got to be about my business and my products. But they need to understand, they need to turn it upside down. In today's world, everybody wants to know who they're doing business with. Particularly if you're a solo entrepreneur or a small business, they want to know who you are. They want to know what you stand for. They want to know why you do what you do. Why is it that you've got this small business? And let's face it, it's easier to go and get a job and earn a salary than it is to run a small business.
Oh, that's not even a question. Yes. Like it's so much easier to have your work, and a kind of security when people think that is security, but some people believe that is the safe path. Yeah. But it's so much harder. I know it's small business, and especially when you're starting, it's really hard. It's not easy.
It's not easy for them. And I do think that one of the way when I speak to anybody who is a startup, or perhaps they've started their business and they're at that point where they've got a couple of clients, but it's not enough. And they just can't see why they can't attract more people, which is often a sticking point. You know, they've got started, but they're not getting anywhere. I often say to them, often it's because they're not confident enough to come out from within. So showing who they are, really believing in themselves and their business. Once you've got that sorted, you've sort of got quite a good stepping stone for all of your marketing. But you've also got to remember, not everybody is going to see you on LinkedIn. Not everybody's going to see you on Facebook or Instagram. You have to go and do the networking. You have to have a website that's branded to you. You have to get out there on a podcast. You have to blog. You have to do, it's almost like you've got this circle of you in the middle, but you've got to come with see what works for you.
Yes.
I know some people that have done nothing in their business but Google ads. Nothing else. And it may work for them or it may not. I've come across businesses that say, I've spent $3,000 a month on Google ads and I've got all this business. And then I speak to somebody else who has spent similar money and got zero.
Nothing.
So,
and I think that's important.
You've got to work out what is good for you. And being a business owner is not like being an employee. You do have to take the extra responsibility that if something's not working and you say, why isn't it working? And you might be having mentoring or outsourced people working with you, and it still may not work. You've actually got to take responsibility to that and stop and say, no, this isn't working, and go back to basics and try something else.
You just kind of talking in a steps that I teach, because I teach 5 success principles, and it's funny because you mentioned them all. Like basically it's the starting with outcome, like really understand the purpose and vision, and really you can connect, actually, like you said, you know, like who you are, you can connect with people with your vision, and they will connect with you because they will understand that probably that's something I like, you know, like her vision is amazing, and her way of doing things are really something that resonates with me. That means people will connect with you on a personal level, and this is so important. And the next steps are like that sensory acuity, and you like have that self-awareness. If something doesn't work, it needs to be changed. And all is strategy. A business is not emotional. Business is strategy. Business is results. Business is basically just to see if you're getting actually enough clients, and if you can survive, and if you can actually thrive, and not just, you know, like, oh yeah, I don't feel good about that. Like, well, it's not about feelings. And I always said, just really understand this strategy doesn't work, change it, evaluate, change it.
That's a really important part then of your program, because I have I think it was last year, maybe the year before. I'm a bit confused of the years, you know, the way time is going. But anyway, fairly recently, Katrina and I had a client who we had been doing their social media for, and it was good, but it wasn't having exactly the results that I would have wanted. So we have a strategy call every month, but we booked an extended strategy with her, and I said, look, this isn't working. And I gave her the various reasons that I felt. And she went, oh, thank goodness if you've said that, because I think so too. And I said, well, how long have you been actually thinking this? She said, oh, for a few months. I said, why didn't you say that a few months ago if you weren't happy? She goes, oh, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. And I'm like, hang on, you are paying for this service. If something's not right, I don't have personal feelings. I'm not going to sit here and get all upset because you don't like a design we've created or some copy we've created.
Yeah.
It's about getting the right thing for your business. So that's the difference between a business owner and an employee, I think. You know, as a business owner, you have to grow a bit of a tough skin and understand that not everybody's going to be your ideal client, that some people are going to go, no, it's not for me. And you have to I think you have to wear that, and you know, we've had knocks before. We've had clients who have been, you know, on really good packages with us and have left, and you've gone, oh, why did they leave? You know, and for a minute there's this tiny part of you that takes it personally, but you flip it around quickly and you go, okay, well, these are the reasons. got to wear that, move on. You have to be able to move on in business. And I think when you start up, you can take things quite personally. If somebody doesn't like something or somebody doesn't buy it, you've got to, or you know the term, you've got to test and measure. And that's not just about social media results. That's about your products, about your service. Is it the right thing? You know, if you're running a course, one bit of it seems you sort of start to see people glaze over and you know, lose interest. And why are they doing that? Well, it might be that that part of your course needs to be changed to keep people engaged. You know, it's like fashion. Fashion changes all the time. So your services and your offerings have to change all the time. And that's where marketing can be hard for a lot of small businesses, because they get used to one way of doing something and then things change and it's hard to keep up.
And I think that's another very valuable point, that we need to be flexible. And that's actually one of the success principles as well, because we need to be behaviorally flexible enough to be able to change as fast as we need, change when market changed. Like we really need to change. Like when I'm thinking about my business, I changed the delivery and the pricing and everything what we do basically last year, probably a few times. And I already changed a few things this year, and it's only end of February, beginning of March. That means it's all about that consistent evaluation and consistent checking on your strategies. And I think that's amazing what you do with clients from that perspective of marketing or social media, that you can tell them like something, you know, doesn't work. Let's have a look, like how we can do it better or how we can change that. And it's all, I guess, how do you see, maybe this is a good question, because there is a lot of different, criteria in marketing, because like we need to be aligned, we need to be that personality, but how do you see that? Like, for example, you have a client and they come to you like, Natalie, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to advertise. This is what I want to sell. Are you taking the client like, hey, come on, just wait here. Just wait for a second and let's have a look, because that's mismatch. Like, that's not you. Like, I'm not sure why you maybe offering this service, or why you present service this way. Is that something that you have a look as well, like that alignment?
Yeah, sometimes people come to us and they are very specific. They know exactly what it is they want you to do, which is great. You know, them being specific is great, but quite often you'll sit down and you will ask questions and realize they've got other gaps, because something's not as easy as advertising, selling, or doing marketing around it if you haven't got the support infrastructure to cope with the demand. I'll give you a very good example. We had a client who wanted, I'm going to say a service that they wanted to offer, and it was by appointments. And I said, if you do these half-hour appointments, and how are you actually going to manage the appointments? Number one, like, do you have a calendar system that they're going to book into?
Yeah. Number
two, if you sell all of these half-hour appointments, you will have no time until the end of 2022 this year. So is that the right, you know, where are you going with what you're offering? Plus, you don't have a CRM that can support where these leads are coming in. So the service on its own, or the product on its own, the idea of it is right, but you need to have the other steps in place. Also, it may be that the service seems really misaligned with their brand, and it might not be that may be where they've developed, but they haven't updated their web copy to reflect this sort of change in their service offerings. So there are a lot of steps in marketing that the final bit is doing the promotional stuff. It's all the other stuff that needs to happen in quite a strategic way for it to have the best outcome it can. And I think, and I know I keep saying I think, but it's general rule of marketing out there is, unless you've got a system or people to cope with the demand, if you've got a great product or service, having a notebook to write all these down in is never going to be enough. That's not a system. You know, if you have,
I like that, to have a notebook, it's not a system. Yeah. That's good.
It's not,
Great reminder. Yeah, that's absolutely great reminder, because we sometimes, like what happens, a lot of my clients, it's a really good point what you said, because they start to get clients. Now they start to get more and more and more. And they can't see, because we try to prepare people for that. Like, if you will really start to get a lot of clients, are you able actually take care of them? And so honestly, that happened to me probably with 50% of clients. They starting to work with me. It's very interesting, because they realize that, this is the thing. This is why I actually don't get results, because I don't want results. Because if I will have more clients, I can't fit them anymore into my schedule. And they basically, instead of check the delivery or check how they can do it differently, and actually pump up marketing and sales, and actually work with you to get more clients, but deliver a different way, or just change a few different strategies. Because if you have CRM, it's so much easier. Like the system is absolutely amazing. And I know you work with the same system that I have, and it's just it's so much easier to manage people, manage yourself, manage the time, and really give support to clients. And I think when you look at that with your clients, I think that's really kind of service beyond, I guess, from your side, because from that perspective is important. Because sometimes we can, I don't think marketing itself, like getting more clients, is that complicated. It's complicated after that. What will happen after that with that leads and clients? What are you going to do with them?
And all of a sudden your customer service might go, dip, because you've got no way to deal with them. And I think, one of the biggest things that we do at Your Hive is CRM implementations. Because when we start talking to people and say, okay, well, if you get all of these leads, what are you going to do with them? And they go, the first thing you can see is a bit of a glazed look. Because they might even have a CRM, but they're not really optimizing it. So, and I hate the word future proof, but CRM is all about future proofing your impact later. Because if you get John Smith come as a lead into your business, you can put John in there. You can set your system up, say where he came from, what he's interested in, what his business name, does he have employees, has he subscribed to your newsletter, all of these different elements. And you can separate and segment your CRM then for future marketing. And that is the gold part of, if you do everything right as a process, when somebody comes in as a lead, you've then got that to give you a stepping stone to the next step in your marketing. And they may not be a hot prospect at this point in time, but they've been interested enough to contact you. Later on down the track, they may come back as a client. We have that quite often. Somebody will come in as a referral, and we look after them, we talk to them, we give them some time. They may not be ready at that point, but we keep them in our system. And we've had people come back a year later and say, oh, we spoke with you last year, can we have another chat? Sure, let's have another chat. Where are you at? And they may have put some of the steps in place that we told them they needed to work with us, and they're ready. And more so that they've had a bit of a brain switch that they're ready.
Yeah, that's important.
That's really important in marketing, to really be ready to focus on those activities that are required.
Yeah, that's such a great point, because I was actually same at the beginning, I was getting leads and I had all these, like at first I started with Excel sheet, and I have all these names there and I put notes, and of course, like we start somewhere. And when I was putting them into CRM, I was thinking, oh, I really don't remember, like, okay, what was this person about? Oh, I don't remember what they click on. Did they attend my event? And I didn't make enough notes. That means it's really best what you can do for your leads, because to have a CRM, because you actually can have process in place and understand where someone is coming from. If they are from, in my instance, if they want a sales or marketing, or if they want, I don't know, coaching or transformation or personal transformation or leadership, it's really important for me to know like where they're coming from, what they are interested in. That way I can actually direct them and guide them somewhere. And I think that's what people a lot of time neglect, because we collect, business cards, we collect a lot of leads, we meet people on networking, but do we really write down like what is the person about? Do they even like want to talk to us? Maybe they're thinking about coaching or marketing, like we don't really take care of that conversation. And that's again, from what perspective you're coming from. It's relationship, listening at us, and really care about them and what they need. And that way, if you do that,
you're networking. Sounds silly, but I have a bit of a process to my networking meetings. So
it's not silly. That's perfect. I always tell my clients,
know from our networking, you'll meet people, and I will come away from that and I will have, quite often it will be up here, and I get back to the office and I go straight to my CRM and I put everything in there with people that said they want to have a meeting with me. I will put them into my meeting list, and when I'm going to contact them, anybody that has said they want to actually have said, I'm going to refer you, I actually put it down and I follow them up. So all of those, and plus also the listening I have done at those networking, and think, okay, where can I make that work for other people? So there's no point in going to a networking meeting if you're just going to turn up, have a cup of coffee, throw around a few business cards and hope for the best, because hope, again, is not.
Thank you for saying that. No, thank you for saying that, because what you just say is basically taking responsibility. That you really need to take responsibility, that you will be the person to contact people, get back to them, and remember if they said, they want to talk to you, they want to have catch up, or maybe they want to just kind of talk more about your business, and how you can help them, or maybe they have a referral for you. Wow, like it's so important to write it down and have the process, because you are only one person that is responsible to have results from networking. There is no one else.
I did probably about 5.5 years ago, I did an event that was a business networking event where there were lots of stall holders with your information, and I went along with a couple of other people. And, it cost money to set up. It cost us time being there all day and having something to show and something, about what we did. Which, took an investment of our time to do, which was great. So we had it all organized, as did all the other businesses there. And I noticed I experienced 3 different business people attend the event as participants, not as stall holders or trade desks, whatever you want to call them. These 3 business owners that came through as participants, they weren't interested in the stalls. They were flicking out cards to people. So instead of them investing time in having a stall, having a stand and doing the right thing and getting to talk to people, they were there for their own benefit and hoping to get business by flicking these cards out. I have kept 2 of those cards. I lost one. It's the only reason I haven't kept it. I have kept 2 of them as a reminder of how not to do business.
Yeah, and I like that.
These 2, they're both men, the 2 that I've got, and I'm not saying it's because the other one was a woman, but the 2 that I've got, I have seen where they work. They have changed their business quite a few times in that time. And it just reminds, and I see their social media, I see their LinkedIn, I see all these things, and I watch and I listen and I go, they've never changed how they do things. And they're always on the look for the cold sale. And I am never about the cold sale.
And this is great reminder when we talk about cold calling, cold emailing, cold meeting, or first time, when you see someone first time. A lot of people going to their sales strategy. This is my favorite topic, because I love to teach people around sales, because what we do, we go to sales conversations or cold call or cold meeting with already outcome in mind. Like this is what needs to happen. This will be sales. It's not going to be sales. There is the first meeting or first call is never sales. It's just another interaction. It's just another meeting. It's another conversation with people. And yes, if you are so amazing to create relationship through the one meeting or one call, you probably can get sales, but it's not the focus. And I always said, just really focus on get just another connection with them, get approval to talk to them and show them a little bit more what you can do for them. and learn about people, about their business, because we are not always the right person to help them. And there's so many, social media managers, so many coaches, that I know if I'm not able to help, I will refer to them to other coach. And it's just because I want to focus on my clients. And I think that's so important to, I just met so many people. They flick the cards always at so many networking events. They just give me card like, hey, my name is XYZ, this is my card and this is what I do. And I'm just looking at them and thinking, I didn't even ask yet. Like, and as a by the way, I'm Alex, and it just feels like you don't even have a chance to ask and have conversation because they already told you everything, what they wanted to tell you, and they don't want to share anything else. It's kind of, that's not how you can build up your business and relationship. No. That means I love that you mentioned that.
It's almost like that way of, and I'm going to use the term very loosely, of marketing. It's almost like a numbers thing. They figure if they can hit enough people with a business card, 100 people with a business card, they might get 2 or 3 sales. I would rather have 10 interactions, good quality interactions, and get 1 sale, but those 10 people might refer me.
Yeah. And that's what I absolutely agree. And I don't even have business cards, what is a little bit bad, I know, but I don't even that's the responsibility. I actually learned to don't give business cards. I learned to take business cards from people that I believe I can help with referral. I can help with maybe my services, or someone else that I know, like you, Natalie. I know that you can maybe help them. That means I will actually take people's card rather than give them mine. And it's on me to send them email with follow-up. And I think this is for all business owners, that they should, or guys, we all should take responsibility if you want to grow our business. And don't wait that if you will give someone a business card, maybe they will come back to you. They will not. And I think that's the major difference. Yeah. But I will probably go a little bit more into LinkedIn, because I know you love to work, or you love social media, you know how to do it. You're absolutely amazing expert. You're helping so many clients with CRM and social media. I know your services are absolutely great and helping a lot of people. Now, we talk about that a few times, that LinkedIn is important. And I don't know, I would probably just for our clients, because we have a few minutes to go, and I think it'll be nice to just give them an overview. Why do you think the LinkedIn is the way to go? Why do you think it's important? What is different between LinkedIn, Facebook? Just give us a little bit of kind of helicopter overview.
Yeah. Well, look, Alex, one of my loves of LinkedIn is that it's a real representation of you as a person. It's your profile. Yes. Obviously you can have a business profile, but we're talking about personal profiles here. So it is a personal profile of you, which you can keep up to date all of the time. It's such an easy platform. So number one, it certainly helps with people being able to find you. I don't know how many times I've thought, I know that person's name. I can't think of the business, but I know their name. So I search for their name, and LinkedIn is a great search engine on Google. So you start searching for somebody, you can find them.
Yeah.
So number one, it's like a mini web page dedicated to your profile. Who doesn't want that? Why wouldn't you spend time in getting that right? It's not overly complex. I know people think they actually see LinkedIn sometimes as a bit of a barrier. Like it's hard. It's not hard at all. LinkedIn is about getting a really succinct profile, writing your about section and not leaving it for 7 years and hoping for the best. Change your about section as often as you want. If things change in your business or your personal life, or how you view your business, and you're starting to see different clients, write your about section really targeted at the people that you want to listen to you, and also that resonates you. It's a really good way for people to get to know you. You can create posts, you can create articles, and you can interact with people very easily. And LinkedIn has obviously you've got the video. Video, we're all hearing it everywhere. Video is so important. And of course, LinkedIn, you can use video. but you can make connections with people in LinkedIn who are really aligned with you. And it's not just about accepting connections. There's so many things I could say about connections, but I'll keep it as brief as I can. You know, when you connect with people, if you just hit on the connect button on LinkedIn, in my opinion, that's like throwing a business card at somebody. When you connect with people on LinkedIn, send them a message. Like after I've been to a networking meeting, if there are people there that aren't a member of my networking group, I go onto LinkedIn and the very same day, I make a connection with them and send them a message to say, it was really great to meet you today at blah, blah, blah. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn and perhaps have a coffee in the next couple of weeks or so. And I don't think I've had anybody knock me back from that approach, and it works really well. And then once they've connected with me, I go and have a look at their profile. I go and see what they're doing. And I've got a little list of people that I actually, each week, I want to go and have a look at their profile, see what they're doing, commenting on their posts, because this is for all social media now. We all want people to react and engage and like all of our stuff on social media, whether it's a post, a pretty picture on Instagram, it's a business service on Facebook, or it's an article on LinkedIn. We want people to like it. We want people to share it. We want people to write a nice comment. However, you have to be really honest with yourself and ask, are you doing the same to other people's posts, articles, pictures? Because if you're not, you cannot expect people to be doing the same to you. You've got to, like I said, right at the beginning of this interview, you've got to treat people how, in my opinion, you've got to treat people how you want to be treated. So if you want people to engage with you, you've got to engage with them. So I make a little part of my process, social media process for our own business, is to go into LinkedIn every day. And I know you do the same, Alex, going in, having a look around, not going down the rabbit hole of 3 hours later, but making a little bit of time each day, having a list of people I actually want to go and have a look at, cleaning my connections, and being strategic about how I communicate with people on LinkedIn. It is not hard. I have found some of the greatest connections on LinkedIn, but also, more importantly, I found the best information, like some great articles that other people have managed to see that I've never seen.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's really, I love it. And I actually sign up because there is a newsletter, I think it's new stuff that you can do on LinkedIn. I sign up for some newsletters because I think it's great, because people, a lot of time, they share actually more blogs and newsletters on LinkedIn than on website. It's great source of information. But
it's a part of educating your audience too. So if you're not really sure about what LinkedIn can do, like I often say to clients, if you're really not sure about what it can do for you, pick out a few of your ideal clients. Like if the best scenario could happen, if Bill Gates is your client, well, he's not the best one to look at. But if, I don't know, if Alex is sort of the client that you want to get to work with, go and see what Alex is doing on LinkedIn. Do a bit of stalking, have a look, see what she's doing. Then when you feel like you're up to it, comment on the posts. Most people that are on LinkedIn who get what it takes to succeed on LinkedIn will respond, will like, will do all of those sorts of things, because we're all there for the same reason, to generate awareness of our own personal profile, our services, and how we can. I've put people together on LinkedIn. That's networking on LinkedIn, bring two people together of my connections. So, understanding those real basics is not difficult. Then you can take it to the next level. I do like a little one-on-one LinkedIn education with people, where we do a review of their profile, and then we can have, actually go through about what it is they're looking to do, how they're wanting to interact, what their voice sounds like on LinkedIn if they're not confident. It's a bit like being prepared for a networking meeting. What is it you want when you go there? What are you going to say? Are you going to be a wallflower and just stand at the back of the room against the wall? Or are you going to have a purpose when you go in? So that's how I see LinkedIn.
I really like that. I really like everything what you said. And with the posting or liking and reacting to other people's posts. I think that's really important. Look, I don't do enough of that. I know that because I'm pretty much really bad with social media. Like I'm not there all the time. But what I actually ask people, because I really want to see someone else posts and I want them to actually tag me. I ask them, look, if you want me to read it, please tag me. Because I really like your content. And I actually talk to people and tell them. And I tagged yesterday a few people in my new podcast episode, and I think I tagged you as well. And it's
you did, and I listened to it this morning.
yeah, and I always thinking, because I'm thinking, okay, who can actually get some value from this? And I think about a few people. I don't tag always the same people, but I'm always thinking, like, I'll be honest, I think this person can actually get something from that and can like it. And I send them sometimes message and I said, look, I tagged you because I thought that maybe this can be something interesting for you. If not, sorry, like let me know what kind of articles or topic you are interested in, and I will tag you in those kind of things, because I think it's so important to take it from the perspective that I don't tag people because I want them to like and comment only that. I want them to actually get some value.
Yeah.
I don't want them to miss out on that. And that's why I said, people just tag me. If you post something, tag me. I will be happy.
I think also, Alex, one of the things that LinkedIn enables individuals to do is to really stand out as what they do and their viewpoints, like, and it's a real good way of showing who you are, because when we've got Facebook and Instagram, it's a lot more light and fluffy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is about getting down to, and look, LinkedIn isn't for everybody. I understand that. So I'm not saying that everybody has to have LinkedIn. I'm not. But if it's the one of the right platforms for you, you can actually really optimize your profile in a way. You've just got to spend a little bit of time. A little bit of time every day builds up to quite a significant presence on LinkedIn. So again, I say this in so many other things, it's all about planning. It doesn't mean you've got to sit there for 2 days and go, oh, what am I going to do? It's all about just planning. Have a planning day for your business once a month, work out what you need to do. Then LinkedIn becomes, you might do it for half an hour every other day or 15 minutes every day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't become a burden to you, but it's certainly a great option. Again, for startups, it's a great option because they can actually get in on the ground level and start to build out their contacts. And if you've got a bit of time, you can mine for some of those contacts and work out, like, okay, I want a particular business. I really want to connect with their, their operations manager. So you can go and do some research of business A and find out who their operations manager is, and then try and connect with them on LinkedIn. And it's not a hard thing to do. It just takes a little bit of time.
It's amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing. Even when you do like a sales navigator, like when you have the paid LinkedIn.
Yes.
I think it's amazing how easy your research becomes, when you're looking for your strategic partners. Startups can look for investors. Amazing platform to look for investors. You can see what people did before, if they invested before. You can actually find big companies and people in their roles in the bigger companies. And it's not that we are stalking, we try to get everyone, to be our clients, but it's start to have that conversation, because how better you can start to actually grow your business then just have conversation with the right person, and maybe they will give you feedback. Maybe they will tell you, like, look, we don't look for external. Like, I had a lot of feedback and conversations with people with in some big companies, and they said, look, we are not actually looking for external services like yours. We actually have employees. We employ people like you, and I don't want to be employed. And for me, I know that type of business is not for me, because I don't want to work like that. I want to be contracted as a company. It was really great for me to don't waste time and try to tell everyone, I'm looking for this type of companies, because it's not true, because I did the research and I had conversations. That means I'm not wasting my time. And I think that's what people are missing. Like, it's not only about sales. It's about really strategically grow your business, really start to think about who you need to connect with. And I think that is really helpful in networking as well, in general.
I think though, Alex, when you start up a business, you sort of have so many things coming in at you. You don't really know which one to do first. And that can seem quite not overwhelming. It becomes quite overwhelming. Do I do my social media? Do I do my work on my blogs? Do I go and do LinkedIn? Everybody's telling me to do something different.
That's big, yeah.
And you hear all this advice from everybody, and you know, one person will tell you this worked for them, and another person will tell you this, you know, something alternative worked for them. And you need to have time where you can be strategic in your own business and think, okay, for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to try this.
Exactly.
And give it a good effort and see what happens. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, or it needs tweaking, have the courage to change it, or to speak to somebody else that, look, I tried what you did, but that didn't work. It sort of worked, but how can I make that better? Because you'll find most small business owners, most will happily share their successes and failures. You know, there's work out there for all of us. And one of the things I am very, very conscious of is that fact. There is work out there for all of us. So for those struggling startups, one of my methods, one of my, I suppose, deep thoughts about startups is, yes, it's time consuming to work with a startup, but you can give help, and you can, if they can follow the right people on social media and get tips and education, there is a lot out there for them. There's no point in paying for huge, big services if they really don't know where they're at to begin with. So they've really got to have a bit of an idea. And you know what you're doing, Alex, what we do in education on social media, there is enough resources out there for them to pull a lot of stuff together.
Yes.
And there is enough work out there for everybody, especially at the moment. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, it's all about test and measure, like you said it before. You know, we talk about that. It's good to try something, put all effort into that. That means really do the work. Don't just try for a few days and say, like, oh, this doesn't work for me. It took me probably a year to realize that Facebook doesn't work for me. Like, it's just, we still have it. It's still, you know, we're sustaining that we do stuff on Facebook, but we don't use it as a sales strategy, or we don't use it as a sales tool because it doesn't work for us. And I think that's fine, you know, but a lot of people say it's amazing and it works for them. That's great. And I always tell, stay on Facebook if that works for you. I just want to see the result. Yeah.
You've also got to remember that it comes down to personalities too. So like I was saying somewhere along the conversation, you know, everybody has a different sort of personality, but some people, they can really express their personality on Facebook, or they may have already got a really big personal profile on Facebook. So as soon as they introduce their business, it can really work well for them.
Yeah.
But I always say the rule of thumb is 2 forms of social media, because one can act as a validating tool for the other. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a key specific message that's going out, but it can validate the business. It can support the website.
Exactly. That's why we keep Facebook and Instagram, but it's not really, it's social proof there, it's existing, it's still alive. But also it's not used as a sales strategy, but it's supporting, like you said, you know, website connections, that you have another profile. And I think it's important to see how we're using everything, all the platforms, and what we do with them. Yeah. Again,
we've had clients that have been just on about everything. You know, they've had Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and they're still looking. And I say, whoa, you know,
use what you have. It's like me at the beginning. I have podcasts, I have YouTube, I have so many platforms, but I'm slowly settling down.
Pare it back a little bit to focus in on where, I mean, we've got clients that Instagram is just number 1 for them.
Yes.
I have clients for this. So we have to really make sure that Instagram is working. The hashtag research is done, that they've got a link in their bio to their website, so that we're getting the web traffic to where the sales actually are happening, unless they've got a shop on their Instagram. So you've got all these different elements of which platforms will work for which people. So you have to get to grips with those. And I think for startups, again, that's another one of those, oh my God, what platforms do I go on? But again, that's not difficult when you look at opposing or opposition competitor markets. If you do your research, you can quite easily see where your home on social media should be.
Yeah, that's really good.
It can be daunting, but there is a home for everybody.
Yes, I believe that's it. Yeah, that's really nice message. And I think that's good idea or good advice, just to really have a look what your competition does and what they're doing, if they're, like what is the major platform they use. I think that's really good. And that's when people should have that research, who is your avatar, who is your competition, where you're standing in the market, and what is your price level and all that stuff. If people have that market research, I think it's like you said, it's easy. It's not that hard to actually choose.
Look, they don't have to create a 24-page marketing plan. There's no, it's just, I don't know how many times, Alex, I 12 years ago started and left a marketing and business plan. It was terrible. I started and I got a certain way through it and I went, oh no, it's too hard.
Yeah.
What Katrina and I do is we have a one-page business plan.
Good.
And it outlines our key goals.
It's enough. You have milestones.
How we're going to get there, who's responsible, and how we're going to measure it.
Exactly. This is great. This is gold, because that's what I just talk to clients in the morning, and I said, I don't need anything else. I just really need to understand where you're standing. What are your services? What is your price strategy? What is the number that you want to achieve? Are you going to get actually the goal as a client, or a number of the clients, or are you going to focus on the revenue in dollars, or are you going to focus on profit? And people don't understand the most important fact is, what is the outcome you focus on? Yeah. Because I can focus on number of clients, but I don't need to have the best profit. It's just all about like where we're going and have milestones and exactly one pager. Yeah.
It's individual, because some people may be really, I mean, I know so many people that it's all about the dollar amount, what they're going to end up with. But the reality is, if your overheads take away most of that, your profit is going to be zip. So what are you focused on? Yes. Everybody's different. So our marketing goals, our business goals, they're not wrong, they're individual. So what's right for me might not be right for the next person.
Exactly. Yeah.
And as long as they're not unrealistic, because we all have to have a bit of a reality check from time to time. We all do. And I will
challenge you on that one. I will challenge you on that one. Because I always said, who can say what is reality? Because we can't see what is reality in 1 year, because it can be reality we don't even have a chance to think about now, like what can happen. Yes. Like people say, because that was my first thing. This will be just the last comment quickly for me. It's I had really great wake up call when I said, I was always having those goals, like, yes, I want to have business, yes, I want to have $100,000 to $200,000, and it was really hard to set up that $1 million goal, because I was like, 1 year, it's not reality, and my coach told me at times, like, how do you know? Who told you? Yeah. And I was like, you're right, actually, who told me? Like, it's just me telling that to myself that actually is not possible, but it is. And the one client changed my business, forever. And that can happen to anyone. Like, there can be that one strategic, and that's why I said you have your ideal clients, but you have also your strategic clients and the bigger clients. That means you have actually a few different avenues to look at your client's profile. And when you do the right thing, you can change your business in a week. You can change your business in a month. And I think that's important. Like, reality is reality. What we see is our perception, but we can actually change the perspective, and we can do a little bit different things, different way, and we can actually change the result, what we don't see as a reality right now. That means that's the big thing. That's just challenge for everyone.
I agree. I think, and a lot of that comes down to self-confidence.
Yes.
I've written a blog on it as well. One of the big things I say is not be afraid to say no. You don't have to take on every single client.
Yes.
It's much better to have, I don't know, let's just say 4 really good clients than 6, but 2 are really, zapping your time, and so the other 4 aren't getting the attention they need. So I've learned that over 12 years of business, that if someone doesn't align with you, just say no. Or if you're already working with them and then you find out they're not so not such a good fit, there are ways to, I'm going to use the word offload, but there are ways to part ways. And you find that the minute you do, the minute you do, and we've done this a couple of times, because you think, oh, you know, we need the money, but as soon as you've actually parted ways, you open that energy up and new people come in.
Yeah. And that's exactly, because it's wrong to just say like, yeah, I need to take this client because I need money. Like that's really bad reason to take client on board, I guess.
Absolutely.
And that's what we need to learn probably, you know, in our business journey, because when we say actually no, and because always my kind of goal is to help everyone, but how I will help them is the question. That means if someone will come to me and will say like, I want this whole marketing strategy, I can probably do it, but I will probably say, you know what, you are a client for Natalie, and I will rather refer you to that client or refer someone else. But I'm trying to don't let them go because they come because they need help. But what I can do, if you don't want to take, for all of you guys, you know, like if you have a client that you don't feel that is a fit, you know, or alignment, really think who can help them, because you don't want to let them go and don't help them. Because the major thing, it should be, we should help people. That means I believe that's the thing, what really worked for me. Like if I have someone, I feel like, okay, this is not what it should be, then I'm going straight away like, okay, who is great in this? How can I help them better? And I'm happy to refer, you know, and it's the client actually will get what they need. I think that's the most important part. And I love the way you do things. And that's why I'm really happy that you've been here today, because I think we touch on so many points, and I can see it, like what is important to me is important to you. Like we really see the world, the business world through the same eyes or sunglasses, I would say, you know, it's a little pinkish and little red, and it's beautiful, but it's also all about relationships and really help others. And I really value your time, and I'm really aware of the time that we will probably need to finish. But I was going to ask you at the end, do you have any kind of goal or anything that you would love to say at the end, or maybe advice, or maybe tip, or maybe quote, or something that you would like to share with our audience at the end, just to be sure they get the last, you know, pump?
Look, I think, as I say, I'm going to say, harp on again, after being in business for 12 years, you do have to do what makes you happy. Because ultimately, at the end of every day, as a business owner, you want to be fulfilled in what you do. And most business owners are a different breed to an employee. So be true to what it is you want to do. I cannot stress how much, be authentic, be you, because if you're that, people will resonate with you for the right reasons. If you're a copycat of somebody else, you won't ever, from my experience watching other people, their business never takes off the way it should. But if you're authentic, if you're genuine, you have a way of dealing with people that is original to you, you will attract the right people. People will refer people to you. So always, just be yourself. It's the biggest lesson I have learned, rather than trying to feel like I'm a corporate person, because I'm not. You know me, Alex, I'm very casual. I say it as I see it. And I have found that by being me, by just, you know, I'm a bit of a loose cannon at times. But the reality is people like me for that, and like Katrina for our style of doing things. So be authentic. I can't stress how much that's important, especially if you're a small business.
I think that's a beautiful message, and I believe it's very important as well. And that's probably a great message for everyone who is shaping their business and their personality in the business. Then maybe don't try to shape it that much, but come back to yourself and really understand what are your values, what is important to you. And I'm really happy. Thank you very much for the time that you spent here with me. And I believe everybody will get so much value from this conversation. I know we probably didn't talk about a lot about the strategies, but we talk about in general business strategies. And that's why I really love that, because I think it's more helpful than anything, and you know, to go to details. If anyone wants to speak with Natalie, guys, if you need any help with social media or LinkedIn, just take that evaluation from her, do it with her. It's always worth it to speak with someone that is expert and is great in their field. That means I can't really recommend more, Natalie. And where we can find you, tell us how they can connect with you.
Okay, well, of course, all the social media channels. That's but if you head to our
oh,
website,
really? You're on social media?
If you head to our website, all the links do work, as far as I'm aware. That's yourhive.com.au. You will find us there. You can connect with Katrina or myself. And yeah, we're always happy to catch up with people for a coffee and a chat. So yeah, I'd love to see anybody that's just, even if they're wanting some advice.
Thank you very much. And I wish you amazing, beautiful week. And I will see you soon anyway.
You take care.